Hey, it's Scott and it's Rita, and this is our Cosmic Dialog 60. It's actually a year. And today we're cutting through the bullshit. So, of what, how did you phrase it, Rita?
Getting down to soul business, quitting with our nonsense,
Oh,
our own
yeah.
nonsense.
Yeah, get rid of this nonsense, this, this crap, this fixer business. What is it? What are you really doing? So, what's the point?
What is the point? So, are we going to um, go ahead in the future and see what we've discovered about what the point is?
Let's do that. I think that would be fun. How far? Way far or short term far?
Well, this is the turning point. So, I think everything accelerates after this.
Okay. So we could even just do a year. Like we did sort of say that we've left and we're a year in the future, so there it is.
Mhm.
Do you want to do that?
Yeah. Actually, I'm going um, summer 2020.
Okay. All right. You want to take it away?
Okay. Um, so we had a dialogue. We had a moment back in at the end of 2018. What is all of this fixer work for? What's the point? And here it is, a year and a half later. And what happened at the end of that year was we just started really getting clear about our own worth, regardless of what the world was doing. Because we started to feel that walking around in the world fully knowing one's own worth is something that the world has not experienced, let alone each of us individually. That we've never come across somebody who fully is just so secure in their own being and what they feel because they feel everything that's there. So there's no mask or facade to prop up for them. They're just real. So we got really dedicated to being so fully in our worth that we were more real.
Yeah, I remember when we started really talking about this a year and a half ago and how things had really shifted and how we realized how shitty this world really is and this society and how people can be and how um, it's probably how our world is just it's propped up by addictive behavior, and we had to realize that that was also part of like what we were trying to shed with us. Um, so it was once I kind of, and for me, once I kind of like decided, okay, it's this addictive behavior of me even trying to please people, of me trying to feel like I have to like be a change maker was also an addictive behavior into this black hole of whatever, and of people feeding off of other people. And the idea no one wants your help. And part of it's disappointing and part of it's like a very, because we as dreamers want the world to be a certain way. Um, but I think we started really feeling that change me first fully a year and a half ago. And for me, it was like, in practical terms, I really found that, okay, if I don't have to please other people, and that it's me and my worth that are most important to me, what a relief. I can just step out and do something else in my life as a relief. Um, I can play with that. I can we started doing t-shirts. It was kind of fun. And it was just, why not? This is just an experiment. We're just learning and we're just experimenting and how authentic is that to just experiment and say, hey, we're going to mess up and we're not this plan thing. We're going to mess up. We're going to have fun and irreverence, and it's going to be for us. So if I have a shirt on that says Fixer, it's for me. It's me living in my own truth and my own worth and my own truth is a weird old term, but it's true. It's I'm putting this on for me. And when I can actually sit in my own self-worth, I can do whatever I want. I could decide that, I could do this job and it's for me. Rita could be an artist for her. And, yeah, for us, I think it was very freeing. And for a while, we were still in that throes of, oh, the world sucks, but we kind of know that that's what it is. And yeah, the term was sobriety. What does it look like when you actually start getting sober from this addictive world? What does it look like? And is the world really ready to experience sobriety from all of that? So, keep going with this.
Yeah, I was just seeing the two of us in an Al-Anon meeting, and we're the only two, and this is the only meeting, and the rest of the world is not at the meeting, nor are they at the AA meeting. And there was a period of, just accepting how, I don't know any of the 12-step stuff, but just accepting what we're living in and what we have done to enable it, and going from there. And so there was, even though you and I were fairly familiar with allowing breakdowns, there was more to go through, kind of a feeling of hopelessness and ineffectual powerlessness, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But and even now I feel sort of not even wanting to talk about it that much. I'm not sure what that part is.
Yeah, it's it's ironic. Here we are talking to YouTube, and we turned off comments on our YouTube a while back then, so that we could just be more truthful, and we could really just talk about those things that we found to be truthful for us. And
if somebody really wants to talk to us, they'll find our email.
Oh yeah. And we started really making things more about our journey only. And it's so ironic how it's the way to fix the world is by unfixing, not being a fixer. It's kind of a paradoxical thing. It's I'm not going to fix you. We're just going to play around and cause trouble and not help anyone at all. And our irreverence and our turning our backs away was probably the biggest help of all to some people. We started getting comments. We started getting some reviews of the book that nobody read. We started getting, oh, I really like those t-shirts. Oh, that's really fun. I want one. And we started getting all this stuff. The more we kind of sort of said, this is not about you, this is about us. And so we're just going to do it. go have your fun, addictive world. We're stepping out and we're going to draw a picture of you. Here's your monster. You did that for somebody, and that was like, ironically, the most freeing thing for them, which I still think is really crazy, about how you just in a tantrum phase drew a picture and said, "This is your monster," and it just was like the most fascinating thing for them. And I look back and I laugh, and like how we. But yeah, I do. It's ironic that to fix the world, we had to go so far to not be the ones to fix it, in order for people to start healing a little bit. And even now, we're still not sure how it works, and we're just we'll just be on to the next experiment. So,
I had no idea that I could be even more removed from the world than I was a year and a half ago. I thought that, okay, I've gone through my being in storage, I've gone through being quiet, and now I'll be out and about and amongst. And I looked around, and like, I remember the one time I went, or the first time I went to Grand Central Station in Manhattan, or arrived there on a train, and then went out on the street, and I was so overwhelmed by the amount of activity, noise, horns, people, that I turned around and went back in and just try to get my bearings before I went out again. But that's sort of what happened. Okay, I'm ready. No, I'm not. And I've become so uninterested in what's going on out there that it did surprise me. I understand it better now, but there was there's the paradox of, that's when I became even more effective in having, I don't know, I don't have any influence, I don't think, anywhere, just being more effective in just being.
but yeah, you were able to take that experiment. I remember that, and I was very proud of you for like doing that, just because you needed to do that experiment. I'm ready to go see the world and do some outreach, and then off the train, whoa, and then just right back in. And it was just, I think that's a very proud moment for your experiment, that the world leads you back into the addictive sphere. You're ready to go. You've got your bags packed, and you go there, and then you just turn around. It's a really, I don't like to use the word repentance or whatever, but it's very much like that. It's you just turned around. You're just like, oh, okay, this is what I see. I'm just gonna turn my back and go.
I don't want that. Let's get on another train. That was the feeling I had. Let's go out to the open pastures, and that's sort of what I did. Meaning, really just exploring further what's available to us in the universe, rather than all of the systems that have been built in this world.
Yeah, I went to a dream group, and then there were like swarms of geese that would, like thousands of geese that would like be by this place where we did a dream group, and it was almost like it was distracting from our dream sharing, where we actually saw how the geese in nature calmly and just knew instinctively how to be one unit, thousands of them being one unit, and none of us, they're right next to us. They're right next to us. They coexist with us, which is so paradoxical. How geese have not become addicted, just like we are, to approval, to individualism, to, maybe there's that one goose that is like, I'm going to show you all, and I'm going to go and make people see what it's like to be a goose. So, and that's going to be my calling in life. But it was how, just like the geese didn't care that we were here. They don't care that we're even around. They are one unit looking for food, adapting, swirling, choreographed so beautifully, and this is a natural process. And somehow we got that wrong. And how it kind of showed us, okay, yeah, we can share our dreams and everything. We can come together like this in this artificial way, but somehow we got it wrong. And this to be able to step out and say, wow, these birds know what's going on more than we do. And unfortunately, they're still around in the winter because we have messed with their environment, their food, their climate, their senses. That was the sadness that set in with us after that this was our doing. And then we realized, oh my gosh, we're using them for our own entertainment. These birds who are doing a natural thing, we're using them for our own entertainment and our own intellectualizing for that. And we're the ones who actually caused them to stay here later in the winter because they could find food, and we've disrupted their migratory patterns.
There's so much grieving to be done. So much acceptance of behaviors that have influenced so many things. That's just one tiny example. And we can't do it for everybody. So
I'm just grateful for the times that I can do that for myself. So
yeah, exactly.
I have a lot of gratitude when I can actually hit a grief moment for my role in this crazy system. Mm-hmm. And in this, really shitty, out of control, tumbling ever farther, kicking the can down the road system.
Everybody with blinders on. I didn't do it. Yeah.
The government needs to change. They need to tax people. It's absurd. The key is carbon credits, or, oh no, we need to do solar panels, or, oh no, we need to have our government change this. We need to have our government do this. And
even now, I feel like we should just stop talking about this.
Yeah. Oh, we've embraced that. I love that "shut up" shirt that I made.
Yeah. Especially for ourselves.
For ourselves, yes. Shut up. Getting quiet is a thing. Just shut up. Stop. And I think that there's, I had a dream about something, and then the word sobriety came up, and it was just like, you wonder is who has really experienced total sobriety of all of the addictive qualities of this world.
Not a single person.
Not even me. Not even you. No. Of course not.
Definitely not.
So, but I like it that we've embraced that we are not here to support the addiction of helping. And in our not supporting our addiction of helping, it somehow helps, which is crazy to imagine.
Well, when we started these dialogues, we wanted certain things to occur in the future. And then we let go of that. And the dialogues became not about things getting better. And it was but it was a strange, much more peaceful, hopeful feeling in it. Probably because it didn't have that demand on it anymore, that we demand things to get better a year from now. And yeah, it became more soothing, at least for us.
Yeah, and I really do think that I am really starting to embrace it, like, oh, all of that was kind of meant for us to really understand that there is a third hand that can work. All of it was for us to actually start to understand this equation of, how the universe works and how love and truth and the next logical loving thing. It was for us to do that so that we could maybe change ourselves first. So even though there's a paradox of this YouTube sharing too, um, but all of those things were for us so that we could move to a place of gratitude where we could then detach from wanting to share that as a helping mechanism so that we could actually just experience it. And then maybe through our just plain gratitude rather than, oh, I'm going to share the next greatest thing and profit from it. Because we didn't. We totally didn't. But everyone reacted to us like we were going to. And that was such a paradox. Everyone reacted to us like, how dare they put that into the world? They are here for my money. They are here for my attention. They are here to sell me something. And really, we accomplished none of that. We talked a little bit at one time about like the rage that comes through when we really do that. Tell me a little more about that, because I remember you having a conversation. You said it much better than I did.
Yeah, when you speak truth, you know you've spoken truth because anger comes at you. That's the usual. Um, unless you've prepared the landscape, sometimes every now and then somebody will really feel it and actually feel under the rage and feel the sadness that's under that and the fear that's under the anger. But usually when I come forth with something truthful, it's such a shock that it'll either be dismissed or that if it's something that they can't get out of quickly, then they use anger to try to avoid actually feeling the truth of it. And that it's easy to feel victimized in that situation. And somehow in the last year and a half, that victim feeling victimized, even though it's an incorrect response coming to truth. I don't know.
Yeah, I really think
I don't even want to talk about it.
I know. Earlier on, long time ago, you said something like enter at your own peril. Like we should put up billboard signs, because really it's true, because we have realized that like other people who haven't kind of gone through this progression as, we have, and they're starting their own journeys. They're probably starting their own journeys from different spaces, but they're learning these same lessons, That's what happens is like you enter at your own peril when you start like talking and speaking and actually living more principles of love and truth, that enter at your own peril, because in this world that is fueled by addictive consumption, once you speak love and truth to that, you be prepared for the onslaught of rage that's going to come at you. So because
a lot of it's delivered with politeness and a better knowing, but underneath it is woof.
Yeah, or it's like, oh, I really liked your book, but it doesn't resonate with what I've learned. And this is what I have learned. And maybe you should take a look at that. So rage can masquerade as belittling. Rage can masquerade as advice. Rage can masquerade as silence. separation, forced separation.
Mm-hmm.
So um, we felt it all. We got to feel all that. Whew.
Yeah.
We like I look back now. I was like, whoa, we felt through
Oof. Gosh.
all the masks of rage that the world is putting out. That um, this masterminded system has like created its own assets, like the Matrix, who are just activated to display um, those masks of rage.
Mm.
So, and this video is no different. This will flood the airwaves with rage in many ways, and so we felt through it. We felt through it, and we still receive it. Like, are you selling me something? Are you doing this? I'm going to ignore you. And so it's good enough to just really realize that and say, it's good enough for me to feel the rage because I know that I'm just going to live my life with love and truth. And that's probably a cost of doing business in this addictive world.
Mm.
So having a sobriety feeling is like, you really do have to like just focus on you to have this sobriety feeling and to realize that the world wants to trigger you.
Oh, yeah. 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 I was just thinking, well, if we're not going to hang around our old friends, our old addict friends, well, it's you and me.
Yeah. And yeah, I've had to shed friends over the last couple of years, shed ways of being. Um, yeah, they've had to let go of me. They've had to feel the feelings of separation, of letting go of like their old idea of what Scott was like before he like got into the crazy fixer craziness,
Or just judge you.
or just
You
judge me.
don't have to feel it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then I give
Mm-hmm.
full permission to judge. So, because why don't you just go through it? Go ahead and feel that. That's okay. I would rather you just go ahead and feel a judgment. Go ahead and feel a rage. Go ahead and feel a separation.
Because that's far less destructive than just judging someone.
And then pretending you're not, and continuing with your addictive behavior of the world the way that you want someone to be in your world, to manipulate and twist that judgment so that you can have what you want from that person, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Judging is a good way to manipulate people.
So I really think in the last year and a half, we talked about this a lot. We talked about this early about different audiences we had, and so you're actually, we found like sometimes like some really interesting folks that came to us were like a lot of people in the LGBT community. They had to step out anyway in their life, and so that sometimes that was a segment that would come in and sort of like hang around. So, because maybe they had to feel that separation earlier on in their life and what that felt like to actually experiment, to be authentic and to be truthful. And but you started creating circles for the spirit world.
Yeah.
In
They're
too.
way more honest, way more receptive.
What was your experience when you first started and what it is now?
I actually, um, right
Maybe
now,
they're much more confidential.
yeah, yeah. At the moment, it feels that way. It almost feels like the word that came to mind was that's a privilege that hasn't been earned. Hearing that. is a privilege that hasn't been earned by whoever might see this.
All right.
Yeah, I can't explain or justify that just at the moment, but that's what I felt.
I really like that term too. And I think we're going to start exploring that even farther. These are privileges that haven't been earned yet for the greater exposure.
Mm-hmm.
So, and if it's not, we still live in this world. So, of course, like that's a great little protective smackdown from the spirit world saying,
Yeah.
you're still a little too young and a little too inexperienced for us to kind of like throw that out. So.
Yeah, right. More needs to be done and accepted, and as far as responsibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just for the folks the three folks probably who watch this, will just say, Rita does circles for the spirit world and it's none of your business.
Yeah.
That's probably a good idea.
I'll let you know what is your business, or they'll let me know and I'll pass it along.
Yeah, I like that. And so,
and I do circles for a few brave, actual physical in this world people.
Yeah, I think spirits are a lot more brave.
Well, there's just less ability to hide. There's different rules, so so much more interesting and enjoyable to interact with someone who's being fully honest and not hiding their own result, hiding the results they've created. I don't know if I'm saying that in the way that I'm feeling it, but it's just more fun to be honest.
And it's really a good reflection of the whole state of the world when we can, the most fun we have is with honest spirits not dwelling in this dimension.
It's so much less exhausting.
It is.
Oh gosh, just propping up everybody's costumes and and protecting them from their own fears, and yeah, no thank you.
But it is kind of fun. The only thing that, like, when people have kind of wondered what we're going to do, we throw out some things kind of funnily, and and like I did have that idea and I put it out once about a coloring book for ghouls, and people loved it. And we just decided, well, you want something from us? Here's a free coloring book. Color your ghoul. And they loved it, kind of like how a kindergartner just loves whatever's put in front of them. And I'm not like belittling anyone, because I think probably it was fun. I had fun kind of like with the concept of like, your color your ghoul coloring book. And, people ran with that. So there were like little times where they like, there was a little bit of like, oh, come on, show us some out of the box fun thing. Like our shirts, those were a little out of the box fun thing. And every once in a while people wanted to buy a shirt. And, just sort of like try it on. I want to be a fixer, or I want to be a kind of like Scott and Rita. Maybe I'll read their book. I'll buy their book. And those are fine. And it was great because people could actually experiment. And so all we're here is just to help them experiment and kind of do that. And what fun was it? It's like, okay, let's experiment. Let's just color in your ghoul.
Well, the funny thing was that when people did wear the fixer shirt, what came to them was, what got exposed was how much they were not fixing anything, but they were propping up their addiction. They would just automatically be triggered.
Right.
fixer shirt.
And also, like, they got to feel what other people's rage, resistance, whatever came to them.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, what is that shirt about? And then they got to actually feel that.
This buddy.
Yeah. Who are you to wear that? What's that all about?
What are you fixing?
What are you fixing? Oh, that's just your ego. Oh, wow. You're very instant in your ego right now, aren't you? And so it was really interesting. I just feel like, yeah, and some people like have had their feelings hurt and other things like that. But you know, what a gift. You know, you get to actually see authentically. You put on a little shirt, you know, where you actually are in your grandiosity, which sometimes is very good. We've learned that grandiosity is wonderful to put on because we are grandiose beings. We were created to be beings of I don't know, light, or you know, we are here to be a wonderful manifestation. But and then when people put actually like where that we can do it because we're like we understand. But right now I'm wearing John Deere, not a deer, but not Fixer. So, but it, you know, we were prepared for the onslaught of like judgment, streaming, rage, anger. Who do they think they are, kind of thing. But it was really great because we did get that feedback. So, yeah, I wore that to the shirt to the gym once, and I just don't. I put it back in the drawer, and I would say, "Yeah, you felt people's judgment. What was that like?" And they're like, "What do you mean?" I said, "So you wanted to wear that, but you didn't think you were going to get that. Just let's work on that. What do you think it felt like? What did their judgment feel like? Did you feel it more or did you feel it less? And what did you learn?
Or did you get approval in some way? And what are you doing with that? So yeah, we made these t-shirts, and then we realized, oh, so when you're feeling a little bit brave, you'll put your t-shirt on and go say, okay, I'm ready to get triggered. And then you crawl back in your space and feel through all of that.
Yeah, and we had no idea that was going to be the effect at first, but then it's like, oh wow. And all we wanted to do is just have people put on grandiosity because they should be. And but yeah, it's an experiment. We found that out. It's an experiment, like, especially if I wear my Fixer shirt out in the world or put on all these other things, it's like that experience of bravery in this world and what that brings to you, as a conversation piece, as a conversation starter, or as a way for people to kind of do that. They've been doing that all the time. It's like the hoodie being, there comes Scott and Rita. Let's just walk away quietly. But it is kind of interesting. So people bought them. They paid us to wear this shirt that would make everyone judge them, which I think is brilliant. Yeah. In a crazy way.
Yeah. Well, that's how we operate.
It's a you're welcome moment. So, you know, if everyone could feel that and just go through that process of feeling, but most of the time society will reward us by not feeling it. We'd rather, like, you know, do the encouragement some other way.
And then there's a circle on it. So it's like the button. Here, go ahead and push my button. I'm ready. I'm ready to feel through the next thing that I need to release.
And then once people, like, kind of, the one person sort of said to me, like, yeah, I realized eventually after all the judgment that came my way that I could actually sense that circle was protecting me in some way too, repelling.
You're feeling your feelings. There's really nothing more protective than just feeling through things honestly. And then we also heard back that they wore their shirts so many times and got judged so many times that they no longer got triggered by being judged. And then
they got to just do what it was that they felt they wanted to do for themselves. So, you know, we had to go through all this other stuff, like what we offered and what we did, just to realize that all we had to do was make a t-shirt.
Yeah, right.
So, or a coloring book,
Yeah.
and like allow other people to have the judgment stream to them. Uh, look, think of look at all the time we wasted. No, no, it wasn't wasted. It was really good work. But
We created a lot in the meantime.
yeah, yeah. So it's
Yeah, never wasted. Everything, everything is information to build upon.
information, experiments, um, and
For
not
us,
planning.
never wasted. I would say there's lots of wasted time. If you're just going back into the addiction, that's a waste. But if you're building upon the information that you have gleaned from doing something new, creating something new, that's never wasted.
Right. Even if you decide that it didn't meet your expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Feel through that. Feel that. Feel that. What were your expectations? Really feel through that, and like, don't judge those. Just, oh, okay, I didn't meet the expectations. What is? And just feel through it.
Mm-hmm.
Experiment again.
The expectations weren't loving in the first place, so I'm glad it didn't
Yeah.
get met.
And trust that there'll be like the next propelling thing that gets you closer to love and truth.
Mm-hmm.
So, how many people have like reached? I don't think we have even reached the pinnacles of love and truth, but how many people get there without experimenting and feeling rage from other people?
Yeah, no, not in this world.
No, no, no. So, so that's your welcome moment, I guess.
I guess so.
Yeah. And yeah, we're now embracing. We've been embracing for a while that we are actually a year in front of everyone, and so, not to be an egoic thing, but maybe so. I don't care. We're just stepping in our truth, that we feel is appropriate for us, and what you see is just an echo. What you see of us right now, even if it's a video, if we're walking in person, it's something freeing to feel like my container of me being here is just an echo of what I was. You are seeing an echo or a shadow of who I was previously. And it's probably, and to me, it feels very true and very freeing because the surface feelings and even the rage that comes through is actually to that image of me that's perceived. And maybe that's the hope for other people as they go through their experiences. If you feel rage, at least I have felt this, that the rage is to this image of me that's in the past. They're angry at an echo of who I really am. And I've once I can kind of feel through that, then things feel a little better.
Yeah.
And I'm still learning about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I kind of feel what you mean. I already left, so I don't know. I don't
know. Yeah, I'm still too addicted to the birds and the squirrels and the trees and everything here to leave. So that's my, and I think that's even to my dying day, that would be my last addiction, is like bury me under a tree so that I can keep that.
Oh well, no, there's no addiction in gratitude for what's been gifted to us.
You don't know how often I walk among trees.
Yeah.
So
They're way more honest.
they are more honest, they're friendlier, they feel like my brothers. So, and they've even embraced me that way. They communicate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they are the neurons for the earth. They feel everything, every rage that we put upon the earth.
Mm.
I mean, go talk to a tree. Sit with a tree.
Uh, mm,
You will you will feel the rage you put upon the earth if you really convene. And for me, I think like that rage that comes to me when I step out into love and truth is kind of like, if I can, it's the same thing. It's like I need to feel that what I have projected onto the earth, um, and feel gratitude that I accept and really see my role objectively, and then I can repent, forgive myself, start building a relationship that's hopefully honorable as much as I can. Um, Start reversing that trend. So that's why I talk to trees, because they show me what I've done. They're honest. You know, I probably weep more for the rage that a tree gives back to me than the world, than people.
I'm sorry. I'm floating. I'm floating.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad you are. So you've left. Like, I don't need to feel the rage of a tree because I'm gone. You can have that, Scott. You can totally have that.
Yeah, go
So,
right ahead.
yeah, yeah, I'm gone. I'm traveling the other broader dimensions. So I'll get there. I'll get there. So, uh,
Yeah,
anything else?
no, no.
There you have it. All right, all you three people. That's it for today. So
Thank you.
I'm gonna sign off. Thank you, Rita.
Thanks.